Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Fear the Hive 1155 podcast. As you can see, we have already started with the shenanigans.
Y'all late.
Oh my god.
Should we let them in on what we laughing at, man?
You know what? I think some people would get a kick out of it.
Okay, all right. So, me and Dominique have a conversation because I told him that, I be doing Bible study with my kids and stuff, right? And so, that's why I'm so high. I got the cover under me. Anyhow, in the car, we just went for the Abraham and Isaac story. God told Abraham to take Isaac up to the mountain and to sacrifice him. Abraham got up, took Isaac to the mountain, went up to sacrifice him. Isaac was like, where the lamb at? Abraham was like, the Lord will provide. He got up there, is getting ready to do the thing and kill him. And the angel was like, yo, stop. We believe you now. You're going to be blessed. And there was a ram in the bush. We were just talking about what the conversation on the walk back was. Because my kids were like, I know Isaac looked at Abraham and was like, yo, is this what we on now? Is this what we're doing?
Hit you with that Kevin Hart. Abraham looks over at Isaac. Almost lost you today, man.
Almost lost you today, man. Almost lost me. You tried to kill me. Oh my God. Like, yo. I know you talking God about this, but I didn't hear him say it. Call him back. Put him on speakerphone.
I need him on speaker right now.
Myself. I need to hear it.
I know God's ways are not our ways, but I just need I just need to be let in on this way. Like I just want to talk to him.
Explain it to me like I'm not a sacrifice. And then they walk through the door. Sarah be like, so how did it go today, guys?
How was the trip? It was good. I was like, no, it wasn't good. He almost came back by himself.
I think like I'm going to my room. I can't talk about this right now.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm gonna go lay down.
So like, Abraham, what? Decisions were made.
Decisions were made. Not my decisions.
No,
I was just carrying them out, and apparently, Junior didn't like it.
He's always so.
He's tripping. But did you die though? But did you die?
No, did I kill you though? Did I kill you though?
Almost doesn't count. Horseshoes and hand grenades, Isaac. Jesus,
man. So the rules?
This generation's soft.
Oh my God.
Are you actually somebody's son if you don't get sacrificed?
Oh, look. I know Abraham was like, I told you to lie. That's what I do. That's what you do. You ain't tell your mother. I told you what the lie was.
Thought you said you want to be a man. Men don't tell.
Men, we keep those things to ourselves.
That was supposed to be between me and you until either one of us died. Oh man.
Sorry guys. We were laughing too hard to not share that.
That was good.
Joy. Whew, man.
That was good though.
You know what else we were laughing about? Dominic asked me right before we got on. He said, "Yo, are my kids too old to drop them off at the fire station?" I was like, wait a minute.
Look, it's a serious question, right?
You got a teenager. What do you mean drop him off at the fire station? He's not going to stay.
Dude, this summer, if today was any indication of how this summer is going to...
First day of summer for y'all?
No! We haven't even gotten there yet. And it's already some stuff, man. Like, Jesus Christ. So, all right. Today I'm working. You guys know I work from home now, and which I'm in very close proximity to my kids' school, like the middle school, the elementary school, middle school, high school, and then also some language arts academies, like really close, like less than a mile close. And I'm just getting some stuff done. My wife calls me. I'm like, okay, it's not uncommon that my wife calls me because we have to try to find time in between. She's working, I'm working. Hey, what's up? What's going on? Just checking in. She's like, hey, can you go up to school and go get Mari? I was like, I look at my watch. I'm like, it is literally like 12. Yeah, it's like 12:30. What are you talking about? Well, apparently he got into a fight at school, and yeah, you need to go get him. I'm like, okay. And I was pretty calm though. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I go up there. I'm just making sure that, as a father, I want to make sure that he held his ground.
Oh wow!
Like, at this point in life, it's like, hey, go ahead, Steve.
No. I wouldn't hear this.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, I'm also going through, my mind's going through like, okay, hopefully he's not like super hurt or nothing, things of that nature. I get there and I see him, his shirt's ripped. He's got a cut, above his eye. And, he's explaining to me and he's just like, hey, Dad, I was doing this. I was like, hey, did you, and I'm just like, did you defend yourself? He was like, yeah. And he's just telling me about it. And you can tell he's about to cry. And I was just like, all right, cool. Hey, all right, you're good. And the first thing he was like, Dad, am I in trouble? I was like, no, you're not in trouble. Not today, at least. And, like I said, I was just making sure, because I've been thinking about this for the longest. And I think it's about time that I get some gloves and like fighting gear. And we just go out in the back, because I need to know.
You gotta start that a little bit earlier, homeboy.
No. I mean, like I said, I've been mulling it over for a while, but I'm like, you know what? Okay, after today, I'm like, you know what? I just need to reassure myself that he knows what he's doing. So I think it's about that time.
Do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially, fighting somebody or, learning to fight somebody like me, it's like, all right, cool. He'll be used to fighting somebody bigger than him. So, all right, cool. But yeah, so yeah, he was suspended for the rest of the year, which it was funny because
2 days.
So what's funny about that was in the car, he was like, yeah, so am I suspended? What like a day or something? I was like, no, for the rest of the year. He's like, but we get out of school this week. I was like, yeah, just so happens in this situation, the end of the year and the end of the week coincide together. So they're the same. They're both the same length, buddy. So you're good.
Say goodbye.
Pretty much. So yeah. But yeah, he said, and it was over football too. They were playing football in the gym and some kid was trying to say he got him, and they were going back and forth about no, you didn't, blah blah blah, and then he says that the kid jumped him or whatever, and I was like, oh, that's so stupid.
Wait, no. The kid jumped him or kids jumped him?
No. So he waited till Mario was turned around and jumped on his back and tried to tackle him and stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
So he snuck.
Yeah, I was like, man, that's weak.
That is very weak.
That's weak. So
Mario must be bigger than this kid.
I didn't ask that question. I'm curious.
No, I'm telling you, he is. That's the only reason why one kid would wait for the other kid to turn their back. If they're the same size, they're gonna square up. Right? No. Right. He waits till he turns his back. He's gonna jump on him because he knows he don't have the advantage. So hey man.
I mean, it happens. They're kids. It is what it is. But I mean, I will say Mari's summer will be heavily involved with football training and fighting.
Oh my gosh.
Because he's going to 8th grade and then of course going to high school. And it's just gonna be, hey, look, man, don't do any of this unless you absolutely have to. And if you have to, finish it. I'm not gonna be upset. That's my ground rules. It's like,
what do you mean by finish?
I said finish it.
Oh no. Okay. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe you should choose different words because you sound like Street Fighter. You sound like Mortal Kombat.
I said finish it.
But no, okay. Consider this. I am aware that there is an expectation that once someone is incapacitated, that the encounter must end because at that juncture, if it continues, it becomes criminal.
Sure. Okay. Yes.
So, like the words in describing what needs to happen need to be precise, right? Right. It needs to be precise.
Mm-hmm.
You always defend yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You always defend yourself. You always neutralize the threat. Right? Always neutralize the threat.
But don't kill
it. The threat is neutralized. Then you remove yourself from the interaction. Right? That's how it goes. Because the moment that you don't remove yourself from the interaction is the moment you become liable for any injuries following that.
Right.
And so I'm only bringing that up because I've had situations where I've had to tell kids in my family, my own kids, listen, this is where the fight ends and assault begins.
Right.
You got to know that, especially as a black kid. You got to know that. Now, do I expect my kids to know how to fight? My kids have been punching in gloves since they were 4. All of them. My 12-year-old hits like a grown man. My 12-year-old daughter hits like a grown man. To be clear.
Wait, she's 12? Jesus.
Yeah.
Where's the time going?
You said 8th grade. I was like, dang, I'm already old.
Yeah.
Samuel is a grown man, and he hits like a grown man. Now, he needs to do some push-ups so he can hit like a grown-er man. But he still is very heavy-handed, and he knows exactly what it's like to give a punch and to take a punch, right? Because my big thing, like you got to know how to fight, but I need to know that you know how to throw a punch the right way, and you need to know what it feels like to take a punch. Because once you know what it feels like to take a punch from a grown man, then you will have respect for what fighting is. And you will know, like I've been trying to teach you, not you, but teach my kids, fighting is a last result, right? It's a last option. But when it is an option, like you were saying, we neutralize this. And once it's neutralized, you remove yourself from the situation as quickly as possible. Right? Yep. So that means you got to lay somebody out.
Yeah, because I mean, for me, the only question going into a school where I hear that my son has been fighting is I'm going to look at him and it's like, you finish it, right? I don't want to hear nothing else from anybody. I don't want to hear nothing from anybody else. Okay. You finish it, right? All right, cool. Now we can continue the conversation.
You got to build the narrative with these people, okay? You got to build the narrative with these people so they will understand that you have instructed your child that, right? And if my child is punching another kid, that means there was no other option. That means that everybody else failed to do what they were supposed to do to stop this altercation. Right? Because when my kid punches another kid, that's because there was nothing else available to be done. Told him to stop, tried to move himself from the situation, tried to ask people to intervene. None of it helped. Right? You got to you got to be very clear about that with the kids, and you got to make sure that they verbalize those things so that when you go down to the school, like when I went down to school, I sit on business. Look, my kid only punches people when he has no other option. Right. So y'all need to tell me, or y'all need to figure out what transpired to get to this point. Because if he hit that other kid like you're saying that he did, and I believe that he did, because I trained him to know how to punch. That means that somebody didn't do what they were supposed to do to intervene in this situation. Right. Point blank, period. Right. Like, I ain't about to argue with you about what he did. I'm about to argue with you about how it got to where it got. Point blank, period. Yeah, and what I mean, the other kid, is he alive? Good, he'll live. No,
but yeah, I mean, Mars a cool kid. He don't, he's pretty mellow. So yeah, if he's fighting, I'm like, yeah, that's odd. So yeah, that was definitely something that I was like, well, you know what, probably should tune that up, see where we're at.
Yeah, man, get that kid right, man. Get it stand straight. Make sure you know how to throw a jab and slip a hook.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting like the helmets with the UFC gloves, not like boxing gloves, because that could give like some. To me, that's weird because it's not like all kids put gloves on. So it's like get the UFC gloves. So it's like you get your normal finger movement or hand movement, and you can at least see how it goes.
I'm not saying that that's bad. The reason why I chose a boxing glove is because they're more padded. So when I hit him, he'll feel it, but it won't hurt as bad. Like if I had UFC gloves on, I hit him with boxing gloves on, he's gonna be out.
But then that begs the question: what is the right way to teach a kid how to fight? Because I mean, to me, if you're skilled enough to use not just like I would assume it's like MMA type fighting. Like you can use arms, legs. Like as long as you're competent with them, hey, in a fight, anything goes.
Yeah, I listen to Michael Jai White a lot. Not just because he's buff and he knows how to fight, but because he explains the art of fighting, right? Yeah. He's trained in various martial arts styles, and he says, aside from mixed martial art, the very next person competent in a fight is a boxer because they know
Right.
how to throw a punch. And knowing how to throw a punch is supremely important because people that don't know how to throw a punch will not ever throw a punch as hard, as efficient, and as devastating as someone that has learned how to throw a punch, right?
Makes
So
sense.
that's why I started there. Now, we've done that. We've done that quite a bit. Like we box like every 60 days. We box, like box. I've incorporated when we don't have the gloves on in shadow boxing, what it's like in a street fight, right? Like you said, there are no rules, right? So either you're gonna commit to this thing with no rules, or you're not. Like I had to drill it into Sam's head. There are no rules in a street fight. This is not in a street fight is not boxing. It's not boxing at all. So there are no rules. So you need to figure out how to do this. So we incorporate kicks, leg whip kicks, front stomach kicks is what I call them. It's not what they call them, right? Fake kicks to get people to drop their guard so you can hit them.
Right.
Rushing, tackling, ground and pound. We've done all of that. Right? Just because I want you to know that, most put it like this. I've had interactions with guys that do MMA, and almost everyone that I've interacted with that does MMA, they don't want to be in a fight.
Right.
They don't want to be in a fight. So if you do, like I told him, if you do what I'm telling you to do, and this person is trained in MMA, then you're never going to get into a fight. So you almost never have to worry about anybody that does MMA. You might have to worry about a wrestler because they're hyper aggressive, but not an MMA guy, right?
Right.
And so, but like he knows what ground and pound feels like.
Yeah.
He knows what getting. Look, and I tell him all the time. Look, you hit somebody hard enough in the stomach, or you kick him in the stomach hard enough, the fight is over. I don't have to hit you in your face to end this. If I hit you in the ribs or in your stomach hard enough. Also, here's the other thing. Last thing, and I'll stop. So boxing. Distance is your enemy, right? Distance is your enemy. Following guys that do Krav Maga, distance is your enemy. Right? Distance is your enemy. You need to be aggressively closing the distance so that you can end this altercation as quickly as possible.
Right.
So he's comfortable getting closer to do what needs to have happen. Right? I mean, he's got long arms, but if I'm sitting out here and we just swinging, anything could take me out. If I close the distance and press the issue, then I have a better chance of doing what needs to be done.
Right.
So, anyhow, that's just my experience. Take it for what you want.
Yeah. Shoot, my dad, he taught me. He was like, "You go for the throat." I was like, "Okay, all right." Look, my dad grew up my dad's from Detroit, so
Detroit, Michigan.
You're like, "Hey, you hit him in the throat. That's it." I'm like, you know what? That's a good point, but that's like very close to catching a charge.
Depends on how hard you hit him. It has to be under control, or else.
Oh yeah,
collapsed trachea is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, man. So what you gonna do with them tomorrow?
So I was thinking, we got a nice hill in our neighborhood, and just running the hill
all day.
No. Like, because I got some time in between dropping my daughter off at school and the time that I got to go to work, and upgraded to the Series 9.
Hey, look at that! Look at that!
Yeah. So, definitely want to put this thing to use. And I got some weight to
lose.
lose.
Deals with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, absolutely. And so he's gonna start his football training early.
Nice.
Yeah, quite a few days early.
So my kids are already out of school. They've been out of school since the end of May. A couple days. They've been out of school.
Yeah.
So today was the second day. You know what I got them?
What'd you get them?
Books.
Like workbooks or like reading books?
Books from the Goodwill.
Oh, okay.
$2.99, my boy. When I tell you. So this summer I'm going to coach them up. Right. Let me back up. I was going to be an English teacher for middle school. Right. Took the practice and all that good stuff. School's dragging their feet and hiring me, so I got another job, and I never looked back. But that's what I was going to do. I've trained for that. I studied for that and all that good stuff. So this summer I'm going to coach them up on all things English and bookie. right? Bookie, English,
Bookie.
reading, language arts, writing. And so for 2 hours a day, right? An hour's worth of reading, an hour's worth of writing and reflection.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I don't care what you do in the morning. Come noon, time to read. They've adopted it. They got them books. Sam has Fahrenheit 451, which I'm told is a very good book. He's actually beginning to enjoy it now. My daughter I got her a book. It's a messy teen come-of-age book that's clearly written in a black voice.
It's clearly written in a black voice.
And I got Silas a book about a middle school math science.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
If he would actually read it, your boy, yo. Today I was like, so where you at in the book, Silas? He's like, oh, I finished it yesterday. Poems. That book is 70 pages long. There's no way. I know how you read to me out loud, right? And whereas the average reader takes them about 2 minutes to read a page, it takes you about 3.5, maybe 4. There's no way earthly possible that you could have read that book. So please.
In about 210 minutes.
Stop the cat. Stop.
That man said, I got better things to do. I read the whole thing. That's cool.
So you know what I make him do? For the first 45 minutes, he gets to read to himself. And for the last 15, he has to stand up and read out loud. Hey, you stand up and read out loud to me. And I follow along in the book with you. I'm not playing these games, man. I know that you're not reading this book. I need you to know that I know that you're not reading this book. Okay?
You know,
and you're going to read this book.
Do you know what he likes?
What do you mean?
Like genres of books to read.
They don't know yet. I watch them and I observe them enough to know that the books that I selected for them were books that would be at the very least mildly entertaining for them, right? Sam and Sydney, Fahrenheit 451, the book that Sydney has, they both love those books, right? Sam read the first 20 pages and was like, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to start from the beginning again. I was like, yeah, okay. Glad you like it. Silas, he likes the book. He doesn't like reading because he hasn't historically been very good at it, although he doesn't feel like he's been very good at it. Although he actually is pretty good at it. He just needs to do it more, which is why we're doing what we're doing. Oh, and I bought a fiction book and a nonfiction book, right? So I got all these, I got an interpersonal communication textbook, and I got 2 nature reference books, right? Okay. Learning about animals and all, gestation, what they eat, their predators are, all that good stuff, with pictures and all that good stuff. So they're gonna read both during the summer. Yeah. Actually, that's the first set of books they're gonna read.
Well, might I add two books?
Fire away.
So one of them is called Meg, and it's by Steve Alton, and it's about the Carcharodon megalodon, and a bunch of scientists actually wind up finding it at the very at the bottom of the ocean as while they're exploring, and it's a nice suspense book. I remember reading it had to have been 10th grade. And that was one book that really caught me, and I was just like, you know what? I actually like this. This is good. But yeah, I think that's one good book. And then the other one is an autobiography of Elon Musk.
I feel like you're trolling. I don't know why you think this is funny. You really tried to slip that past me, like I was gonna be like, oh yeah, and just file it in my mental Rolodex and forget the version that I have.
I mean, if they like technology, hey. Why not?
You talking about the man who recently sold $7.5 billion worth of stock before the earnings because he knew that they were going to miss the earnings report?
Nah, he had to pay his taxes.
No, maybe he did. I'm not saying they didn't. What I'm saying is, for reference, right? He sold $7.5 billion worth of stock at I think it was $186 per share. They missed earnings, and it dropped to $120 per share.
I'm sorry. I think Warren Buffett did something along the same lines.
No, he didn't.
Pretty recently.
Warren doesn't do that. You want to know why? Because Warren doesn't want to go to jail. Elon Musk flouts the rules all the time. FLOUTS. I said it, and I stand by it. But for reference, Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg are really good friends, right?
I bet.
They're really good friends.
Yeah.
And you would think that they're really good friends because they're both felons. That's not the case.
Technically, Martha's the only felon.
Snoop Dogg is not a felon.
Right.
Martha is.
Martha's the only felon.
You want to know why Martha went to jail?
Insider trading.
She sold stock before her earnings report to the tune of, I think it was $700,000, so that she would not lose value in that money.
Right.
It's not that she got caught. They prosecuted her, and she went to jail. Elon Musk did that with $7.5 billion. Billion with a B. With a B.
I mean.
Not I mean.
Let's put it this way. I get what you're saying. I get where you're taking this. I 100% do. But he's not the real criminal in this. It's the Congress who's the real criminal.
I'm about to call you a slur. I'm about to slur you. That's what's about to happen.
Hey, he's not the criminal in this. Like,
you know what it's starting to sound like? It sounds like you need a red 4-letter hat on.
What?
That's what it's starting to sound like. That's what it's starting to sound like.
I mean, that slur doesn't have 4 letters. It's like 5.
That's 4. That's 4.
I am not. Those guys get on my nerves.
The fault is Congress. How is it Congress's fault?
Because they're able to do the same. So how does Martha Stewart get in trouble for insider trading when these guys are making policies and trading stocks that those policies affect?
I got a question. Aside from the whataboutism that you brought into the room, what I think you're saying is, if it's such a rule, why don't they get in trouble too? To which I respond, they all should be prosecuted.
Okay. But here's my thing. If you don't prosecute one of them, prosecute all of them.
Prosecute all of them. Yes, I agree. Start with the ones that traded the most money. That's all I'm saying. Right? So
he's saving our planet, okay?
So he is not. Right? So you at the top of that, there would be like Elon, and then probably what's the guy's name? I forgot.
It's not Gates.
Right. No, but right below, like that's tier number 1. But tier number 2, you got like Pelosi and all of those guys. There's a bunch of them. Democrats and Republicans that do that crap all the time. So I'm with you on that one. I think it should be illegal for congressmen and women to trade stocks while they are in office. It should be illegal. It should be not possible. Right.
Exactly.
To avoid even the look of impropriety. But be that as it may, $7.5 billion. He saved himself like 2.5. I don't want to hear it. He needs to go to jail. Period.
I mean, what did he? He bought Twitter for like $44 billion and lost like $20 billion.
Look, and here's the thing. He has so much money that taking a $2 billion loss wouldn't have meant anything. Matter of fact, it could have used it as a write-off.
No, I'm sure he did use it as a write-off. He knew that.
No. He didn't lose that money. He could have used it as a write-off. Sure. Is what I'm saying. So, but be that as it may. No, I will not be buying a book about Elon Musk, by Elon Musk, adjacent to Elon Musk.
It's not about him. Walter Isaacson wrote it.
Listen, man.
With Elon's approval.
I'm not even buying a book about electricity. No, not anywhere near this. No. You're not getting me to, no. And speaking of things that have made me completely overwhelmingly upset lately, did you hear what Walgreens what was it, Walgreens or CVS? I think it was CVS. You know what they just said?
What?
We're going to slash our prices by 30%.
Everybody's doing that, yeah. McDonald's said they're slashing their prices. I'm like, so you're just like, so you guys have been, okay. You guys have been scamming.
You've been robbing us.
Yeah.
You've been robbing us the entire time.
Yep.
Right. You've been price gouging is the technical term for it.
Mm-hmm.
But in the hood, we know that is robbery or larceny, depending upon how often you've been in court. Right. You've done this, and you've
Ben Simmons does.
You seen the pictures of this dude with Lonzo Ball training. I'm like, for what? A photo shoot? Yeah. For a photo shoot? We all know you're not playing. Yo, did you hear about what Lonzo Ball did?
He got somebody else's meniscus in his knee.
He got a meniscus transplant. Okay. I've heard of a lot of things in my life. I've never heard of meniscus transplant. That is some cutting edge technology.
So my wife, she tore her ACL not too long ago, and she actually got the ACL of a cadaver in her knee.
They've been doing that since 1999. How do I know? Because I had mine done in 2000.
Yeah.
They've been doing that for 25 years.
I mean, it's the same. It's about the same thing.
No. Because if it were the same thing, they would have given me a meniscus too. They would have given me a meniscus too.
Hey, while you're in there,
can you replace that thing as well, dude? I saw a picture of my meniscus. I was like, should it look like a tire at the end of its life? The shards and shreds everywhere. Yeah, no, I was like, that's cool. That's side streets. Let's see. You hear about China? Hear about what China did recently? Not in the show notes. China says they have a cure for the sugar.
For the what?
For diabetes. They have a cure for diabetes.
Well, that wouldn't necessarily surprise me because I'm pretty sure that there was a cure for HIV and AIDS too. So.
Oh no, there most certainly is a cure for HIV.
Right.
I mean, not even secretly anymore. Like there's a cure. Like I mean,
I would say like top tier is curing cancer. Right under that is HIV, AIDS, and everything below that, you got to have a cure for. You're just sandbagging.
All I know is two things. First of all, China probably used real live human experiments to get this cure. This is why absolutely. I trust the cure. This is why I trust the cure. They use people to figure out whether or not this works. Sad, but I believe it's true. But I'm thinking to myself, this is going to change it's like penicillin. You know what I mean? Like,
well, you
can cure diabetes.
I mean, in their defense, the whole COVID thing, they had to.
this is penance.
Yeah, you gotta balance it out, man.
Yeah, we killed a lot of people, but we got something new for you right now.
Yeah,
it's gonna cure diabetes.
Hey, you're welcome, man. Yeah, you gotta put them back in good graces somehow. We got this. Sorry guys.
Hey, I know we sent you COVID. Let's send you this cure for diabetes, and let's call it even.
Right. Exactly.
Even Steven. Dude, I heard about that. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Just as Biden caps the cost for insulin, he just capped it at like $25 a month, which is dope.
Well, did you see even before that, like Mark Cuban's was it? I forget what the name of that company is. Like that was revolutionary. I was like, that's really good. See,
he's a disruptor.
That's people with money actually helping the people. And I mean, I'm sure it's definitely a business thing too, because it's like, yeah, if you're gonna get volume versus making money on making more money per one item.
Well, and I'm with you. I am a fan of what Mark Cuban is doing in that space and in other spaces as well. Like I was just listening to a thread where he was talking about the reason why he paid his employees during COVID and the reason why he raised like the the minimum salary for people at his companies, because he was he didn't want to. He was feeling embarrassed because there are people that were working for him that were on government assistance,
right?
And how his aversion to taking tax dollars or having his employees take tax dollars from the government because he's not paying them enough. And I was like, wow, that's very admirable.
Yeah, that is very admirable. That's a sense of pride in what he does and what he's looking to do. That is really good. Yeah. Mark Cuban has always been on the top of my list as far as like billionaires who I would hope has it in him to push humanity forward. Honestly,
yeah, he's got a. Well, when you come from, I don't know if he came from nothing. He says he came from nothing, but when you come from meager beginnings and don't forget where you came from, then you're willing to do things like that, like making generic drugs in volume to sell directly to sell directly to patients and consumers. It's admirable to do it at a stated. I think he does it. It's 20% over cost. right?
Yes, it's called cost plus
Yeah,
drugs or
yeah.
something like
So it's
that.
like
Cost
20%
plus.
over cost. So
Yeah.
whatever it costs them to make it, they add 20% across the board, and they sell it to you.
Yeah, and
Which
because
is
what's crazy about that is for every name drug, you have the off brand, which is the same thing, just with a different name. And it's like, well, yeah, if you're just paying for the name at that point.
okay. So yeah, no. So the way that patents for drugs end up happening, right? You get a drug, you get R&D for a drug, you get the drug, go through trials, you get it documented, you get it approved, it hits the shelves, you have a name for it. That's your drug for a specific amount of time. I think it's 7 years, right? After 7 years, the formula for that drug becomes available. It's no longer
Gotcha.
exclusively yours. It may be 10 years. I gotta look that up. But I think it's 7 years. It's not exclusively yours. It is available to the public at large, which means in that 7 year period, most of these drug companies try to capitalize and the price skyrockets. They say to cover the R&D, but most of the R&D is funded
Right.
by
By the government.
anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a profit making extravaganza. But once it becomes available to the public, then it's known as generic. Most companies take that and then they apply for another patent for another drug similarly named with slightly new features to continue the scammery of this drug, even when there is a generic that's out, right? So that's generally how that works. Cuban said, "Well, I'll just take all the generic ones and I'll just sell them for cost plus, right?" Which is crazy because most of them have been around so long that it costs maybe $3 a pill, $4 a pill, as opposed to the $25 or $30 a pill that you're paying for the non-generic brand, right? The brand name drug. So I'm happy that that's the case. I'm happy, providing people with opportunities to not, be poor because they have to take these drugs.
Yeah.
And it certainly helped that he got all that Walmart money. Was it Walmart? People that bought the no, it wasn't Walmart. It was somebody else. He sold a portion of his team. He's not the owner of the Mavericks anymore.
Yeah, I was following that for a minute.
Yeah, I had forgotten that recently.
It's very interesting that he did that because well, I hear part of it was because he was looking at being part owner in Vegas as well.
No, not Vegas. Casinos in Texas.
Ooh, okay, that's about right.
He's looking ahead.
Yeah,
and the people that bought the Maverick also have casino, like they fund casino, and he's making a strategic partnership while making a boatload of money, so he can roll that money into something.
Yeah, because he still has his job there at the Mavericks. He
sold. He owned. Did he own like 85% of it?
Something.
He sold. It was most of it.
Yeah, he sold most of it. I think he still has some of it because why not? And especially this year.
Yeah, like he probably should have waited.
I felt the same way. It's like, dude, dang.
He probably should have waited.
Is that ink still wet?
Yeah.
Is ink dry yet?
I mean, they paid him a grip though. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, I always like Mark Cuban.
He's good people's.
A stand-up guy. He sold for $4 billion.
And he paid like what, 600-700 mil? If that.
Man, he paid $285 million. Talk about ROI, my G.
Yeah. He's good. It wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't have. He paid cash money, bought the arena, did all that good stuff. Hey, I mean, he did some bad stuff too, but we ain't gonna talk about that. We're gonna let it run.
Yeah. Hey man, you see, Mr. Cheeto, he got his first public loss that we know of.
That man went 34-0. God, he's streaking.
But so this brings up a lot of interesting questions that a lot of people are trying to answer. Which I also found out. Did you know the president does not need a security clearance?
That is incorrect.
How much of it is incorrect?
It's completely. The president absolutely has to have a security clearance.
I would hope so, because I mean,
Here's the problem though. The president should be able to and should have to pass a security check. Every president prior to Trump has had to. Every person that's worked at the White House prior to Trump's children had to. Every person that's worked at the Department of Justice has had to.
Everybody works for Department of Defense.
Yeah. It wasn't until Trump became president that all of that went in the garbage. They lied on their forms. They lied on the forms that you have to submit to get these clearances, and they were not penalized for it. Right? It's
That's
part of
horrible.
Not only is it horrible,
That's
you got scores
insane.
of government employees and government contractors whose lives have been combed through. Right? Some of which have not been hired, some of which have been prosecuted for lying on that particular form of ballot. So
SF-86.
SF-86. There you go. See, you know the term for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal to lie on that form. They lied on it.
I don't get that. It's like that's why I think, because also like with this conviction, because now he's quote unquote labeled a felon. If this was Barack Obama and he had 1/8 of these charges or any of this happened, they would have called for him to drop out of the race.
Okay, so Dominic, let me stop you. We can't do that. And you know why we can't do that. Because the rules are not the same. Whiteness dictates the rules are not the same.
You're right.
It's just not. I mean, I was reading on Twitter. Someone said that they were ready to execute Barack Obama for wearing a clean tan suit.
Oh yeah, that suit was clean though.
That was clean.
That was clean.
Clean with them glasses on, getting off one, tapping his.
Yeah, that thing was clean. I don't care what nobody says. You can say what you want to say, but like, because also at the same time, like, come on, man.
They were wetting themselves over that suit.
They were just upset. They were just upset because he could pull it off.
Trump is now a felon. He has filed. His companies have filed. This is before his president. Has filed for bankruptcy. He's been sued by the Department of Justice. He's been sued by what do you call it? Housing Urban Development. HUD. Yeah. Housing Urban Development. He still business owners. He, while married, has slept with porn stars and with playmates. Yep. He has had multiple extramarital affairs and multiple wives.
Yep.
They don't care. They don't care. They will never care. Which brings me to one of the reasons why they should care, which is shameful that they don't. I was watching 60 Minutes the other day, and I had to go search this because I thought they was lying.
You're not saying Project 2025, are you?
No, I don't want to go forward. I'm going to go backwards, but it's connected. So remember January 6th? Everybody was like, oh my God, January 6th, the riot, yeah.
Yeah.
The riot was the second scariest thing that happened on January the 6th. The scariest thing that happened on January the 6th is what preceded the riot. When you look deeper into the plans that were made, anybody that remembers civics remembers that for a president to be certified, the electors that were designated in the states, from the states, come to Washington, and they vote in Congress.
Yeah.
Right? The vice president certifies the vote, and that person is president. That's how that works. Normally speaking, the person that won the state, the electors for that state, have to vote for that person. That has been the standard operating procedure for as long as America has been in existence.
Right.
The plan from the Trump administration was to send duplicate groups of electors to the Capitol on January the 6th when Mike Pence was supposed to be certifying the election.
Right.
And those fake electors with fake documents they attempted to enter into Congress in place of the real electors. And their directive and what they had signed on to do was to vote for Trump despite what their states had already decided by the popular vote. Right? They have video of groups of people being denied entry into the halls of Congress who had papers, and they were going there to vote, not in the will of the people that they were supposed to be representing, but to vote for Donald Trump. They were literally planning to overthrow the election in front of our very eyes.
Like, this is like all the stuff this guy does It's just a joke. And honestly, my feelings toward this isn't guided by, Democrat versus Republican. It's just this guy. Like, he has zero regard for any of the customs, any of the rules, like as if they just do not apply to him. All of them.
He's got a rich man's mentality and a white man's mentality. The rich man's mentality is these rules don't apply to me. I don't believe that they do, and I'm not going to abide by them unless I'm forced to.
Like the highest office in the world, and you just we'll just fake it. It's cool. It's no problem. No biggie.
The white man's outlook is I'm entitled to this as long as I'm able to attain it by any means necessary. And
amazing.
But for the love of me, I cannot understand why anyone would consider choosing him over democracy, because the choice now literally
is dictatorship or democracy.
Him or democracy. Yep. There's no other choice. There is literally no other choice. They were not successful in removing circumventing democracy the last time.
Yep.
They won't make that mistake again. They will not make that mistake again.
They won't, but I mean, I was reading about Project 2025, and basically it was thought up by a far right think tank on coming up with a plan on how to do away and keep Trump in office even past this next term.
Yeah.
Assuming that he wins. And I'm just like, and they're open about it. It's just like, oh my gosh, like, time out.
I've said it before, Dominique. They only care about the laws in as much as the laws serve them. They only care about democracy in as much as they are in power. That's all they care about, right? And I throw the word whiteness around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Not white people, whiteness, right? As a collective understanding of the power granted to white people by using aggressively, forcefully, and destructively the laws of the United States for themselves and against people that are not considered white. That's, to me, that's whiteness.
That's
whiteness
crazy,
only cares about the laws as long as it helps them and what they've already said that they want to do, right? And I don't consider all Republicans, all people with Republican mindset or Republican leaning ideologies as white, as parties to whiteness, because I think there are some Republican ideologies that I, as a black person, I, as a black man, identify with. Right. Not all of them. But they've already said that from the moment that he lost the popular vote, they've been vetting people to put in office that will be loyal to Trump, above loyalty to the party, above loyalty to the United States. The only reason why what happened on January the 6th happened is because there were people that were loyal to the Constitution and not loyal to the Republican Party, and not loyal to Donald Trump. People that were serving, the police officers, people that were in Congress, the congressmen, the people that did not allow that to happen. But if none of them are in power and have any authority, then what they tried to happen will continue to happen. And that's the scary part. I mean, I know it sounds like a tin hat kind of situation.
No, actually, after this, because I mean, Trump was also caught saying that he doesn't plan. He wasn't planning on turning over the White House over to Joe Biden. He said he wasn't leaving.
That alone should have been grounds for removal from office, because that alone is seditious.
Yeah.
That alone is saying that you do not acknowledge the very idea and the practice of a peaceful transfer of power, which is what democracy is built on. Because if there's not a peaceful transfer of power, if it's not a peaceful transfer of power, then there's a violent transfer of power. And then this is no longer the America that we know.
Yeah, I think that died a while ago. I think just the fact that, him wanting to get...
I don't think it died. I think there are a lot of people that have been put in a position where they're going to have to vote for democracy and against power. And people don't like to do that. But I am praying that there are enough sober-minded, conservative Republicans that realize and that are willing to admit that Trump is not their guy and that they don't need him to maintain power and vote in a way that he doesn't get the presidency, because
this can't happen. Yeah, that can't happen. Because, I mean, you would literally tear down, divide, and honestly, America would just implode, literally.
Here's the thing, and it can't. Here's the other thing. Black people talking about, I ain't gonna vote. Joe Biden ain't never done nothing to me. He's keeping democracy alive. And unless you want to live in a war-torn country that looks like parts of Africa, you'll freaking vote. You'll get off your butt. You'll go freaking vote. Because that's what it is. If the election is close.
Well, because he wasn't even supposed to win. Honestly, because he wasn't supposed to win the last one. Hillary was supposed to win that last one.
Hillary did win it, but they got Florida. He won Florida because there were hundreds,
the whole electoral college thing,
of votes not counted in Broward County and in other counties, right? Like this is big, but it can't be close, because if it's close, then the people that have been prepping for war out in Montana and in Idaho, they're gonna want to violently overturn the election. This is why Black people can't sit on the sidelines. This is why white people can't sit on the sidelines. Like, everybody literally needs to vote, and the numbers need to be so large that even if Trump wins, it can't be close.
Yeah.
It can't be close, because if it's close, it's as bad as him winning. So, I mean, look.
Yeah, but he's got that ruling next month on his sentencing. They probably won't send him to actual jail.
That ninja,
if anything,
jail. You want me to tell you why?
Why's that?
You got to dive into it, right? I've heard people say what you just said, right? And I understand the thought, but let me tell you how this goes. They've already done an interview with Donald Trump, right? Parole board, they do an interview. Parole board provides a recommendation. The prosecutor provides a recommendation. The judge has carte blanche. You can do whatever you want, right? Now, the things that are considered in sentencing, from what I understand, from listening to multiple people that have worked as DAs in the state of New York and in the city of New York, things to consider, whether or not he's a first-time offender. He is a first-time offender.
Correct.
So generally, the sentence would be light. However, he ignored a gag order.
That he did.
He was held in contempt and not jailed. He was convicted of 34 counts. 34.
That's a lot.
When you put all of that together, that's jail time. That's jail time. Let me put it another way. If the judge were to go lenient and give him a week for every count, he would be in jail for 9 months. Think about that. That's how many counts of felonious activity there are.
Mm-hmm. Did you see though that after the ruling, the campaign or something of Trump's,
all of them,
donors poured in $52 million in his support.
$75 million over a 2-day period.
That's absolutely insane.
That lets you know how many people and how many rich people are pulling for him to win so that they could gain something from him being in office.
And here's the thing. When they were saying that, he may not get jail time and most likely he'll get like house arrest or something, so in that way he can't campaign and whatnot, I said, that's almost as worse.
Oh yeah,
because if they give him, and he can't campaign and he has to do it like virtually, it's almost like you're making this guy a martyr.
It can't be house arrest. House arrest does not work. He's not going. If you give him house arrest, he's not going to abide by it, which means you have to put him in jail. Just like he very barely abided by the schedule for the trial, right? They gave him weekends and Wednesdays. He barely abided by it. So why would you even go through that? Why would you even go through that?
Right.
Either sentence him. Also, there's no time served. So it ain't like they be like, uh, we gonna give him 28 weeks in jail, time served.
Right.
No, it's either he's going to jail or we'll never hear about this again. And I don't think that they went through the trouble of prosecuting him to allow him to not see any consequences. Like there's not a fine that's in place for this to happen.
Now, so what do you think this is going to do for his campaigning?
To be honest with you, I don't care. What I need, what needs to have happen, even if he's jailed for, let's see, July, say he's jailed for 6 months, because I think he's going to be jailed for right around 9 months. If I were the judge, let's see, July, August, September, October, November, December.
Now September really kicks off
January,
the campaign trail.
January, I'd sentence him to 8 months, to 7 months. You want to know why?
Go past election and whoever wins and gets sworn in.
Thank you very much. But the other thing to consider is he's got the ability to appeal. So that process is going to be playing out this month, and I'm hoping that
it becomes lengthy. Like, no, yeah, we'll get back to it later.
No, I'm hoping that they find that there are no grounds for appeal, so that when July the 11th hits, that sentencing is what it is. So, and I'm hoping that's the case because the rule of law is one of the few things that America is built on, and if they willingly and willfully discard the rule of law for Donald Trump, then, like Rachel Maddow said, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap. This country's done.
Here's the thing: why would anybody follow laws if they only apply sometimes? Might as well take the chance and not and do what you're gonna do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point? Oh, I'm so mad about that.
Yeah. We can tell you're passionate, bro. Well, moving on to somewhat of a lighter.
I'm afraid. Anyhow,
moving on to somewhat of a lighter subject. Hey, man, what are some shows that, if you could watch them over and over?
You mean watch them like I didn't watch them the first time?
Yeah, like some older TV shows, like from the 90s and
90s. Yeah, all the way back there.
I'm just curious.
I don't remember a whole lot of TV shows from the 90s. To be very honest with you, because I didn't really watch a whole lot of TV because we ain't have cable, right? So unless it came on network television or on Saturday mornings, I probably did. I did watch it.
Gotcha.
Didn't watch it at all. Now I do remember Fresh Prince.
Yeah, the Cosby Show.
I do remember Fresh Prince. I do remember the Cosby Show. I do remember A Different World. I do remember Saved by the Bell. Right. I do remember those shows and maybe a few others. You know, Reading Rainbow, Sesame Street, Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune. Other than cartoons, right? Because I remember the cartoons. I remember your standard G.I. Joe, Thundercats, freaking X-Men, Spider-Man, Captain Planet, who is forever my hero. Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? And I remember all of those, but like actual TV shows with real people, 90s.
Oh no, I mean cartoons too.
Oh yeah, cartoons. Yeah, I mean, I always had a thing for Thundercats. That was one of mine, and I had a thing for Peter Pan, but not for Peter Pan. I had a thing for Tinkerbell. I used to have a crush on Tinkerbell.
That's fair. Well,
I appreciate that.
The reason why I ask is I had stepped away from my own Plex server for quite some time, and I have recently started the Forge again.
You're just gonna put it out there on the internet where
a lot of people own Plex servers.
Okay, so what have you stocked in your Forge, sir?
I mean, I've already had this stuff. I mean, like the whole collection of Power Rangers. I'm working on VR Troopers. I actually am. I have Captain Planet.
Oh yes.
Yeah, Captain Planet. And I was just looking for other ideas as to, if I don't know how I'm going to find them, but I was just curious as to what shows some people would be interested in, because I am interested in myself. Like I would like to somehow collect these videos and have a repository and be able to allow my kids to enjoy the things that we did as kids.
Oh, okay. So here's the thing, Dominique. I regret to inform you that showing your children shows from the 90s is like your parents showing you shows from the 60s.
You know what? You're probably right about that.
Oh, no, I'm not probably. I'm completely right about this. I've done the math. I've done the math.
But I think we talked about this. We touched on this a little bit. Like certain shows, like I would say the urban Black shows are part of Black heritage.
Oh, of course.
And like, so like A Different World and The Cosby Show and The Fresh Prince and Martin. Like you
Moesha.
have to, like, I don't care how old you are, you have to watch those shows.
Look.
Our culture is practically built on some of these shows.
I watched Magnum P.I. I watched Andy Griffith. I watched The Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
I watched The $1 Million Man. I watched The Hulk. I watched
with Lou Ferrigno.
With Lou freaking Ferrigno. I watched the original Star Trek with Captain James T. Kirk, aka William Shatner.
Yep.
Yes. I watched all of those. I was made to watch them. And although I'm glad that I did now, while I was watching them, I was going, can I please get something in color? All of this is in black and white.
But I mean, it's just that nostalgia is what I'm looking to capture, really. Like,
it's nostalgia for you.
Yeah, but also at the same time, when my kids, because it's going to happen, they're gonna.
Why force them to watch?
I'm not forcing them.
30-year-old TV.
I'm not forcing them at all. It's just there should they decide to peruse it and be like, you know what, this is actually a good show.
Dude, okay, so hopping on the train with you, I did download every season of The Cosby Show. Yes. And my kids love The Cosby Show. Love The Cosby Show. Me and my wife hate it because Cosby is such a, you could see it in the show. Like, with adult eyes, knowing what we know now, you can see it. It's there. There is one episode where he was talking about his barbecue sauce and how his barbecue sauce made people want to get affectionate with each other, and how he gave it to, because his daughters and their husbands were fighting, and he gave it to them, and now they're all kissing and lovey-dovey on each other. And how he told Claire he had a cup of it upstairs, and let's go upstairs so she can have some. I was like, dude, man, you was playing in our faces the
hidden
whole
in
time.
plain sight,
and you playing in our faces the whole time. You've been drugging women for half a millennium.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah, millennium. No, not a millennium.
Yeah, half a century.
Half a century. Thank you very much.
Half a millennium, man. That dude's. Remember, man. Nobody after Methuselah, nobody lived that long.
After Methuselah, some people would say Methuselah didn't even live that long, but that's another story for another day.
962 years.
You know what? Comparative literature analysis says about that. They've posited that those numbers were used because at the time to convey importance upon a character or a line of characters or family line. The numbers would be slightly exaggerated to the tune of adding a zero. Right? And they're not talking about from the Bible's perspective. They're talking about, they pull the analysis from literature of other civilizations at the time that count other, not necessarily deities, but men of high regard and people that were royalty as living to 700, 800, 900 years. When it's very clear that they did.
Okay.
So I'm not here to tell you Methuselah didn't live 900 years. and as being the oldest man to ever live. I'm here to tell you that he is the oldest man to ever live, but maybe that's because everybody died in their 50s. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair. I mean, no, that's fair.
Okay.
I mean, because even if you do compare, like when they say how many times you're supposed to forgive a man, some people are like, yeah, 70 times 70. It's like, well, so they're like, yeah, that's 490 times. It's like, well, no, that's not necessarily it. It's just to show you should often, yeah, you should often forgive.
Again, the literary analysis is that the 70 times 70 it's a phrase, it's a turn of phrase used because 70 as a rule was thought of in a perfectionist kind of number. Right. 7 times 7 is 49. 49 is the year of Jubilee, that kind of thing. 7 years is not 7 is the number of perfection.
Yeah.
When all debts are forgiven. The way that our criticism is based off of, which is biblical, 70 times 70 is an exaggeration of 7 times 7, which would be perfection times perfection, which means there is no limit to the amount of forgiveness that you're supposed to be providing to your brother that has wronged you, because there's no amount of forgiveness that has been withheld from you by the Father. So you can count if you want to, but you're kind of missing the point.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's not you're definitely missing the point on it. It's not the number that counts. So here's another question.
Wait. Go ahead. I did pull some things up while we were talking. And I would be remiss if I did not mention shows like Boy Meets World, Philosophy.
Who?
Oh, that's right. You're not old enough. Moesha.
Yeah, Moesha for sure.
Moesha. Definitely Moesha. Living Single. Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Ooh.
Yeah. Living Single. Hanging with Mr. Cooper. I liked Frasier, and I own a box set of Frasier's, but that's just me. But, definitely those. You got like Lois and Clark Superman, which I hate saying because I hate James Dean. He's an absolute imbecile. The original Batman animated series, definitely one of them. I'm sure you probably have that one already. But you still got like Family Matters, Full House. You got all of those shows that are really, really big, from the 90s.
Yeah.
So anyhow.
Yeah. No. I'm just looking to build a nice repository, because also at the same time, when we go places like out of town and whatnot, sometimes TV sucks.
TV always sucks.
So definitely want to have a. It's not that I would carry it with me. It's due to
you just want to have access to it. I know.
Exactly.
Oh my God! I hate bugs. I hate them. I hate bugs. I promise you, I hate bugs.
You hate them.
I hate all bugs. Any bug, all bug. I hate bugs. Okay. Yep. Nope. Sorry. Yep. I sure did. I stood up right in the middle of the podcast. You know why? It's all bugs. I hate bugs. I absolutely hate them. Woo! Calling Orkin tomorrow. Woo! Anyhow. Sorry. That's
Understand. It's all good, man.
Die, nigga, die. Now that it's dead.
Are you okay?
No! I am not okay. I am not okay.
Okay.
I am not okay.
All right.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Woo! All right. I don't know. I ain't got nothing for you now. I'm all out.
I'm
all out.
Yeah, I think we've covered it this week.
Oh my God.
Steve is recovering. Just want to thank everybody out there for your continued support of the Fear the Hive 1155 podcast. Please make sure you follow us on all major social media, and also make sure you comment and subscribe, so that way we can continue the conversation in the next episode. This is Steven. I'm Dom. We are your co-hosts for Fear the Hive 1155 podcast. We'll see you guys next week. He didn't almost die. We will see you guys next week. Thank you.